Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something really cool. We're taking some pretty dense architectural and medical guidelines and translating them into a highly practical blueprint. We're going to figure out how to create a safe, comfortable home bathroom that actually fosters independence for the elderly.
It might not be something we think about every single day, but a simple slip or fall at home, it's literally one of the biggest threats to an older person's independence. And it goes way beyond just the physical injuries. Sociological research actually shows us that our physical environment is directly tied to our emotional well-being and life satisfaction. Creating a safe space plays a massive role in preventing those feelings of loneliness and isolation that can sometimes creep in as we age.
Okay, let's dive into this and map out the space step by step. On our agenda today, 1. The hidden home hazards. 2. Glare-free lighting and floors. 3. The ergonomic washing station. 4. Safe seated shower routines. 5. The power of grab bars. And 6. Independence through smart design.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the hidden home hazards. I want to share a really striking statement from the research with you. It says, falls due to limited mobility or illness are one of the most important health problems, leading to dependency. And the crucial takeaway here is that making proactive modifications isn't about turning a beloved home into some cold clinical hospital room. Not at all. It's about preserving freedom. It's about dignity and making absolutely sure a simple daily routine doesn't end in a hospital visit.
Moving right along to Section 2, glare-free lighting and floors.
So as we age, natural changes in our eyes, like cataracts for example, can really reduce our visual quality. To compensate for that, proper lighting isn't just nice to have, it's an absolute must. Ergonomic rules actually dictate that bathrooms need glare-free illumination of exactly 300 to 500 lux. This specific lighting level is absolutely critical when you're navigating wet environments. Think about a typical hair washing routine, right? You need that clarity to easily read shampoo bottles or check water temperatures without straining your eyes.
And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Traditional, glossy, dim bathrooms with low contrast, those are immediate hazards, especially the second water hits the floor. Instead, an ergonomic setup requires matte, non-slip floor coverings, that crucial 300 to 500 lux lighting we just talked about, and high-contrast colors between the walls and floors. This high contrast helps older adults perceive depth and space much better, which basically transforms a slippery hazard zone into a totally secure environment. Which brings us to Section 3, the ergonomic washing station.
For folks who use a wheelchair or maybe just have difficulty standing for long periods, a seated hair washing routine at the sink is often the safest route, but this requires a strict rule. You need exactly 70 to 75 centimeters of knee clearance underneath that sink. This clearance is non-negotiable. It's what allows a person to roll up or sit down comfortably and wash their hair or face securely from a seated position.
Now, a safe hair care routine involves a lot of soap and water, which means slip risks are pretty much at their peak. So we want to follow these precise steps. Step 1. Secure a seated approach at the sink. Step 2. Make sure that 300 to 500 lux glare-free illumination is on. And Step 3. Ditch those classic turn knobs for easy grip single-lever faucets. Being able to control the water with just one hand completely eliminates the struggle for slippery, soapy fingers.
And we definitely can't forget about the mirrors at this washing station. To prevent someone in a wheelchair or sitting on a stool from craning their neck, the mirror above the sink needs a specific adjustment. It should either be height adjustable or permanently mounted with a 10 to 15 degree forward tilt. This simple tweak means they can easily see themselves while seated, maintaining both comfort and dignity during their grooming routine. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, safe seated shower routines.
Now we're entering the highest risk area of the bathroom. Threshold bathtubs are a major tripping hazard. So to prevent trips during a really slippery hair care routine, walk-in showers without any thresholds whatsoever are essential. If you're transitioning from a wheelchair to a shower seat, or if you're using a walker, you need wide, clear floor spaces. Literally removing that step-in barrier completely changes the safety dynamic of bathing. However, if using an existing bathtub is absolutely unavoidable, external step stools should be completely banned from the routine. Seriously, get rid of them. Instead, a secure inner seat has to be mounted at a height of 43 to 48 centimeters from the floor. When you couple that with specific grab bar placements, it allows for a secure, seated transfer right into the tub, drastically lowering the risk of a fall during a wash.
That takes us to Section 5, the power of grab bars. Grab bars provide absolutely critical stability. Think about a hair washing routine. Your eyes might be closed to keep the shampoo out, your hands are slick with soap, it's a vulnerable moment. But here's the thing, you can't just drill these into the wall at random heights. For optimal ergonomic support and leverage, they have to be mounted exactly 90 to 100 centimeters from the floor. That is the ergonomic sweet spot for an older adult to safely bear their weight.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows grab bars aren't just for the shower. Toilet accessibility requires a clean 90-centimeter clearance on at least one side for a safe wheelchair transfer. And both fixed and movable grab bars need to be meticulously positioned according to these measurements. It's the only way to ensure the person can transition back and forth without losing their balance.
So, there are very strict rules for proper grab bar installation. First off, there must be exactly a 4-centimeter gap between the bar and the wall. Why? So fingers don't get trapped while gripping. You also need to maintain that 90 to 100 centimeter height we mentioned, select a non-slip textured surface to combat those wet hands, and ensure the mounting is absolutely rock solid so it won't flex under full body weight. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, Independence through Smart Design.
Stepping back from all the technical measurements for a second, we see this fascinating connection between physical design and our internal needs. Physical independence at home, which we achieve through this ergonomic design, is directly tied to an older person's quality of life and their mental health. When you physically enable someone to handle their own personal care safely, you aren't just protecting their body, you are actually nourishing their spirit and actively combating isolation.
As the research so beautifully puts it, aging in place allows the elderly to be happier in their accustomed environment while reducing the rate of elderly dependency. So the crucial point is that a safe home environment doesn't just protect seniors, it truly empowers them. It allows them to live their best lives, maintain their social connections, and keep their joy intact, all without having to rely heavily on others for their basic daily routines.
Taking all these design specs into account, from luxe values to exact floor clearances, I want to leave you with a thought. If a few simple measurements and smart modifications can add years of confidence, independence, and real joy to a loved one's life, isn't it time we completely rethink how we design our homes? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it inspires you to look at your living spaces in a whole new light.